Hi, I'm Kaylee Bursell, and I'm going to be discussing the reality and truth about what is going on today in Afghanistan. To begin my presentation, I wanted to conduct a mini experiment using Google Images. I first searched for images by typing in Afghanistan into the search bar. This slide shows a few of the images that came up for that specific search. As you can see, all of these images feature destruction, war, violence. They are just sad and negative images overall. This next slide shows the few positive images I managed to find with that search. I had to really dig in deep and pick out these pictures against all of the violent ones. However, when I searched America into Google Images, the mood of the images had greatly changed. As you can see here, all the pictures that popped up were like the ones that I have featured on this slide. They are all trying to demonstrate how beautiful and great of a country America is. This is much different than the images that popped up for Afghanistan, and I wanted to find out why that is. Let's start with the reason why I chose this particular topic for major project number 3. This is a quote from Rosling's Factfulness book on page 179. Afterward, the Afghan students wanted to tell me about their country. They told me these changes were already slowly happening in Afghanistan. Despite the war, despite the poverty, they told me, many of us young people are planning a modern life. We are Afghans, we are Muslim women, and we want a man just like you describe, a man who listens and plans together with us, and then we want 2 children who go to school. Many people do not think of Afghanistan as a country where having a normal life is possible. This quote demonstrates that perhaps this is becoming the new reality of the country. I wanted to find out more about the improvements and progress that Afghanistan was making in order to determine whether their families can in fact fulfill these dreams. I dove into the internet and began searching for any progress that Afghanistan was making. I came across an article written by one of the leaders in Afghanistan. The quote that stuck out to me the most was, "Against many key indicators, development outcomes in Afghanistan have shown some of the fastest progress in the world since 2001. This shows that although Afghanistan may be behind other countries in regards to development and progress, the country is catching up fast to the rest of the world. In fact, the rate of access to electricity increased from 8% to more than 30%. Maternal mortality rates have declined threefold between 2000 and 2015. And for every 1,000 births, 142 more children lived to see the age of 5 in 2018 compared to 2007. This brings me to my next point, the importance of international support to help keep Afghanistan on a path of recovery. International support has helped Afghanistan implement programs that have increased access to education for women and reduced infant mortality rates. Fertility rates have declined from 7.3 in 2002 to now about 4.6 children per woman, and over 8 million more Afghan children are in school, with the ratio of girls to boys in secondary school going up from 1 to 5 in 2003 to now being 1 to 2 in 2017. With all these huge improvements, it is clear that the support from other countries will continue to be a deciding factor in how much progress will be made in the future of this country. Another super interesting article I came across was one about how in order to see progress, we need to stop using a Western lens. I thought this was very relevant because this is similar to what Rosling talks about in his book. With regards to income levels, those on higher levels tend to look down on those that are part of lower levels. This lens skews the view and reality of what life is actually like on those lower levels. A Western lens is almost like us looking down on countries such as Afghanistan that are still developing. The article talks about how the economic success in Afghanistan is understated and overshadowed by the violence and wrongdoings of the Taliban. The news is only showing us the horrible things going on in Afghanistan, and like this article states, any progress is being overlooked because of the violent actions of one group of people. In fact, from 2003 to 2012, Afghanistan sustained a real GDP growth average of 9.2% that rose to 11.8% in 2013. In order to see the progress and improvements going on in Afghanistan, we need to stop using our Western lens and stop looking down on these developing countries. Although my presentation is to show you the success of a country that we all thought was doomed, we cannot ignore the violence that still occurs there today. However, there have been many ways that people have gotten around it and have been able to protect themselves and others. Save the Children is a program that urges donors to invest in education with a focus on girls' access to schooling. healthcare, and to ensure that child protection is prioritized. They want to keep children away from any violence that is still happening today. Resources like these are important to maintain progress and success in Afghanistan. Like Rosling says on page 70 of Factfulness, things can be bad but still getting better. There is still war and violence in Afghanistan today, but that does not mean that there is no progress being made. The reason why it is not only important to know what's going on in countries like Afghanistan, but the entire world, is because we need to start worrying about the right problems. We spend our time fearing problems that are really not a real concern anymore, which creates unnecessary anxiety. Rosling listed a few problems that are very possible or even occurring as we speak, and these are the issues that have real cause for concern. One of these issues is global pandemics, which is very relevant to today. We also need to be knowledgeable and confident about the world we live in. We should not be going around with the wrong information and feel fearful about the planet that we live on. Lastly, we need to take action to fix the real problems. Once we know the truth about our world and what the real concerns are, we can take action to fix them or prevent these problems from even occurring. This is my annotation from the Rosling quote from the beginning of my presentation. I'm not going to read it out loud, but I would just like to take a minute to reflect on this project and what I've learned. The destiny instinct is a major reason why we tend to think countries like Afghanistan are just doomed from the start. We all believe that there is no redemption and these countries will be stuck in poverty and violence forever. However, after doing my research and seeing the truth, I now know that there is hope. We need to stop using our Western lens and our destiny instinct to view other countries. We can see the bigger and more truthful picture. Although it may take some time, Afghanistan is on the road to success, and with other support, its people can live up to their full potential. So instead of looking at Afghanistan and seeing this, we should be able to look up Afghanistan and see this. And then these are just my references. Thank you so much for watching.